clothes, I was out of control and so reckless. I hung on grace like the rash you get from a fake necklace. I make mistakes but had too much swagger for a confession. But in the middle of a stress, even in the middle of a test, it kept on raining blessings. But now I speak on it, homie, I am not ashamed. Cause he, when he, then he, I needed a, so glad that he out of the shame and away from the pain. What profits a man that have physical gain? The flower will fade, but the word will remain, so I tell it all in Jesus' name. Every day that I wake, I'm reminded of how he done changed my behavior. Every step that I take, I'm reminded of how much I needed a savior. For every breath that I take, I'm gonna give you the praise. I just wanna say thank you. Cause you've been so good. Nobody can heal my body the way you did. Even the doctor gave up, but yet I live. So it's never a mystery why I'm about your biz. Just the thought of you. Nobody can ever love me the way you do. I searched all over and there was none like you. So let me wear you tickets, help you to get a breakthrough. What you feel, what brought you up. What's happening? Somebody wanna get to know. What you heard, what made you. Can I get somebody to know? Somebody wanna feel what you feel, what brought you up. What is it? Come on, you brought me out of every situation, little promise I'ma and for the times that I thought that I never would've made it, I'ma open up and cause you deliver me on the devil from every one of my troubles. You know I'm gonna through the hurt, I'ma that's right, in the church, I'ma about your goodness and favor, I search high and low, there ain't nobody great. Nobody can hold you, nobody can mold you, nobody can walk you, nobody can show you, nobody can break you, nobody can shake you, nobody can take you in their arms like Christ. Give me back like a thief in the night, so understand somebody just might wanna feel what you feel, what brought you up, you out. What you saw, somebody wanna know. What you got it, what made you. Can I get a witness? What you will, somebody wanna feel you. What you saw, you don't want nobody. What you heard, what made you. We tell.
The Reverend, as I call Felipe, but the Reverend Ronetta Marie Phillips.
Okay, I can start talking about me. I didn't have a great childhood life. My mother was an alcoholic. My mother abused us. She was strict. So growing up, being beaten and because there wasn't no food in there, and I'm not even 12 years old yet, didn't know how to cook. Or just when she got drunk, you know, she hit us, not even knowing, you know, why half the time. And she wasn't the kind to give you hugs and kisses and tell you she loved you. So we were basically men into our own self. I used to go to school, come like, oh, I really don't want to go home, because I didn't know what condition she was in. So growing up like that, when you had to feed for yourself and find food for yourself and not knowing what to do and have being scared and nervous and not trusting, what's going to happen, that's how you grow up. And if that's how you know as a child, when you grow up and become adult, because I used to say, I don't, want nobody hitting on me or beating on me when I get grown. Just a little last little thing I really want to encourage women, mothers, especially with boys. Our young men, boys grow up to be young men. We as mothers only can do so much for our young boys. If we really want them to grow up to be young men, allow another man. I'm so grateful for Pastor Dorsey, Fred Dorsey, that he looked and seen my son and helped him. He pulled him from different stuff and brought him up to be one of the gentlemen that he is now. If it wasn't for him in a lot of ways, God used him to help me bring him back to me. So the things that he taught him as a man, I'm grateful to you, Pastor Dorsey, Fred Dorsey. I'm grateful because you helped me to bring my son back to me. And I encourage young women, if you got your husband that's not your children, fathers. It don't have to be the father. It could be other men that coming into your life. Your stepdaddies and them men that have something potential to tell your boys. I don't care if you just tell them how to put on a tie. But you just never know. If they drinking and smoking all that stuff, no. You don't know what that man had for your young man to grow up to be men. Because guess what? They was young men themselves. So you got, and it's even more powerful because I know some women want to hold on to their boys. No. You don't have to. Because boys going to always take care of their mama if you treat them right. And if you let God work on them. Not let your boys cussing you out, hurting you. No. Because if you keep a man in their life that's going to tell them some values and how to respect women, when they go older enough, they're going to respect you. He has so many people that, he respects. You're so respectful and kind. Yes, he was taught that way. Like I said, I really thank God for Pastor Dorsey because he was one of the greatest men that helped me with my son.
First of all, I am Pastor Rodney Phillips' father. He came into my life, or we came into each other's life approximately 17 years ago.
So the first time I met Reverend Dorsey, I was just going to the YMCA because I heard about this youth choir. I was with my bro Willie Brown, and we just went to check it out. Mark Campbell was over it, and just wanted to see what it was about.
He was a part of an initiative we did out of Europe, Ten Sing, which was Y Zone Gospel Choir for us in the United States. Met him, nice, decent young man, but had a lot of issues as far as housing, guidance, and a number of things. So he came to live with me probably that particular year.
So the ironic thing is, when he came and picked me up, he took me to the store, bought me toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, cologne, drawers, socks, like just all these different things that I would need. Took me to the store, bought me food, and I had never in my life seen a stranger show that much love and concern for me. And I was just like, man, what is it about this guy?
He was a very intricate part of our lives, was indoctrinated into the family. Grandmothers, aunties, siblings, which I'm one of 17, just embraced him from day one.
So the crazy thing is, like, he had a 2-bedroom, but one room was storage space. And when I came in, he had literally moved all of his stuff out of his own room, and he lived in his living room, and he gave me his bedroom. And I'm like, man, this is like crazy. Like, what man does this much for a child that he don't know? Like, he was literally sleeping on his couch and gave me his bedroom, my own closet space, my own just everything. And it was just an immediate change in my life because for so long I had been homeless in and out of crack houses and just kind of getting in the mud. And he just came in and he opened up his doors and he gave me his own a bed. I hadn't slept in a bed in felt like years, so it was just a blessing.
He resided in a place that was unbecoming for any young man. Pretty much a crack house. Going in and not knowing if he's eating, not knowing if he has the protection, or not knowing if the shelter will actually be there, and who's coming in and out. For a 16, 17-year-old youth, that is really not the environment, is not the environment that he needs to be in, not the way that he should have been raised. So I made it my business to try and assist him with the necessities of life that every kid should be afforded: housing, stable environment, food, a warm bed, one place to sleep. And at that time, he was not really enrolled in school. Got him enrolled into Arlington High School, and in order for that to happen, we had to move. I think the very first place we moved to was like 16th and Rural. Wasn't the best place, but it was a place where we were in the district and they could get back and forth to school. And I just wasn't satisfied with that because it wasn't, the place that I had for me was cool, but for children to come, I had to find another location. We ended up moving into Lawrence Township, which was just down the street and around the corner from Arlington. Had to get him acclimated to actually taking instructions and knowing how to really examine himself, to look at things, to make those wise choices and decisions based upon the facts and information that's available.
So it was really weird because I had never had a family structure like Dad's, because of course I was raised by my mom, but living in the house with a man was kind of different, having that father, that authority piece and things like that. So I had to get accustomed to being in a household with a man, with those type of expectations and the way he did things. But overall, they made me such a better person, and I'm just so thankful for it. Funny thing is, I remember I used to watch TV and commercials would come on and I would just laugh and just go crazy, and they would look at me like, man, what's wrong with him? It's not that funny. But they didn't really realize that I was not as social as normal children. My life was kind of different, and I was kind of getting back in the environment of family, and it was just weird. So things that people may take for granted or things that are common for me were uncommon, and I kind of had to be learned in that household environment.
Had to really slow walk him on the trail that should have been given to him by a parent or by a father. Many things he didn't have that was the information on how to really present himself as a man, and the things that a man should already know, or a young man should already know at that particular age. But he was a quick study. He picked them up, and he was able to really hone in on the skill set that he needed, and made that transition rather quickly. Was acclimated to the family. Many times I wondered if how he felt about just having a family and not really a biological family.
So the crazy thing is, I had to get used to male affection, male bonding, saying I love you, hugging a man. Like, it's crazy, because Dad had embraced me, and it was just weird. But I remember some of my best days with him was I would just climb in his bed. And at this time, I'm like maybe 17, 18 years old, even up to like sometimes my 20s. I would just climb in Dad's bed, and we would talk just as men. We would stay up all night long just talking. And he had literally poured so much, wisdom and knowledge into me. Just those moments, and those are things that I'll never forget.
I want to thank God first and foremost for bringing my son into my life, and then being able to guide and direct and be a part of the life that God has granted him and that has been created down through the years. So we say congratulations on this documentary. I trust and know that God has greatness in store for you, that you will be an awesome pastor, leader, director, lyricist, songwriter. We can go on because the dude possesses many gifts. And we just thank God for the package of the gifts, and thank God for the gifts that he has granted him that he's using to this day.
Long story short, Reverend Freddie B. Dorsey is my father. He's my dad. Though he did not birth me, literally blood couldn't make us more thicker than water. Everything that I am as a man, as an individual, I thank God for him. I am because of him. And it's just such an honor to see him pastoring and I pastoring and us walking a direct path together. And I know God's not through with us yet. And, you know, it was crazy because there's so many people in the world that don't even know that he's not my biological father, to the point of he has took me in and literally engrafted me and took me in as his own. I love you, Dad. I thank you for what you've done, and I hope I make you proud.
Yeah, I guess it's time to get this torch lit. Prices on the block, so bang the bass and now distortion. We've been banging dope for a night, but baby, it's more than it. So I hit the streets where they claim that God